और तो आज स्पेशल क्लास है क्योंकि आप सब लोग ने पिछले हफ्ते चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में हम लोग चर्चा किए, हाउ चैतन्य महाप्रभु इज अ हिडन इनकार्नेशन। और हमने प्रयास किया था कि आप सब लोगों को बताने के लिए कि भगवान का जो बचपन वाला लीला एक एक जो आपका मन पसंद है उसको प्रस्तुत करने के लिए। So I was requesting everybody to post everything on the Google, not Google Classroom, on WhatsApp, तो ताकि सब लोग जाने कौन सा स्टोरीज कर रहे हैं, ओवरलैपिंग ना हो। तो थोड़ा वेट करेंगे। रिया है, रिया, हरे कृष्णा। रिया,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
आपने कौन सा स्टोरी तैयार किया हम लोगों के लिए आज? चैतन्य महाप्रभु का स्टोरी, रिया जी?
प्रभु जी एक्चुअली मैंने चाइल्डहुड के ऊपर तो नहीं किया, लेकिन है चैतन्य महाप्रभु का ही स्टोरी है।
Okay, good. It's okay. You can present one of the story. So today everybody is going to present. So you can read from your. आप read कर सकते हैं या जैसे आप पसंद करेंगे। और हम लोग वैसे आज पिछले हफ्ते से भी हम लोग चैतन्य महाप्रभु का भजन गाया, आज भी हम लोग भजन गाएंगे। तो
कीर्तन कर ले 5 मिनट।
या वो
दूसरे बच्चे
कीर्तन करेंगे। और हिमांशु लॉग इन किया, वेरी गुड। हिमांशु भी आ गए आज। हरे कृष्णा हिमांशु, हरि बोल हिमांशु।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Oh, Hari Bol, thank you for coming. Did you prepare any story on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastimes by chance?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, very good. So which story are you going to tell us today?
Nimai's wonderful footprints.
Oh, wow. I want to look forward to hear that. That's very nice. Varma Jinu ji. Hare Krishna Jinu ji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Are you joining for the first time, or from where you're from? Which place?
प्रभु जी, it's me जानवी from जम्मू।
अच्छा, जानवी। जानवी, बहुत अच्छा जॉइन किया आपने। मेरे बहुत दिनों के बाद मिल रहे हैं आपको। आप पिताजी कैसे हैं?
Fine.
Good. How's the temple going in Jammu?
Good प्रभु जी।
Very good. So you have a story for us for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Yes प्रभु जी।
Oh, very nice. So you're going to tell us a story, huh? So we'll wait for. I think we can start. We'll start with one bhajan. I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, we can share the screen. So 1 second. Goranga. Okay, we'll try to sing this one. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes प्रभु जी।
Let's share this one. Oh, this is a song by Lochan Das Thakur. We sang Lochan Das Thakur last time previously. And this one is by Lochan Das Thakur. Avatar Sara Gora Avatar. Okay, we'll sing this one. So we're going to continue with Mahaprabhu, and we're going to sing different bhajans every week. We sing different bhajans. So we'll try to sing this one. First time I'm going to sing this one. First of all, I do pranam mantras and then we're going to sing, okay? And everybody who was kartal, they can play the kartal. They can unmute and play kartal. And you have any other instruments you want to play, you can join in with your instrument and unmute yourself, and then you can take part in the kirtan. And okay, so if I'm singing, then you can repeat also after and unmute yourself if you want to join the singing. If you don't want to join the singing, it's fine, but if anybody wants to join the singing, they can always join. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Navayogendra Swamin Inti Namine Namaste Prabhupadeve Nam Sankirtan Pracharine Nibishesha Sunyavadi Samastasya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pascha Desha Tarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gatadhara Sivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Avatar Sara Gaura Avatar ke na bhajyeta Avatar Sara Gaura Avatar ke na bhajyeta Kari nirvasa kela न पियाश अपना कर्म फेरे अवतार सारा गोरा अवतार के न भज लेता कंठ के रुतारु सदा ये सेवी लमानो कटके रुतारु सदाई शेविले हेमान अमृता पैवारशे अमृता पैरावशे प्रेम कल्पतरुषि गौरंगा प्रेम कल्पतरुषि गौरंगा अमरत हरे भविलीशे अमरत हरे भविलीशे अवतार सारा गौरा अवतार के न भाजिले तार शोरभेर आशे पालाशा शोराभेराशे पालाशा शुंकिले मानो नशते पशीले कीटा नशते पशीले कीटा एक क्षुधा भवी कथा चुशेले मान के माने पबिये मीठा के माने पाइबे मीठा अवतार सारा घोरा अवतार के नो भजलेता अवतार सारा घोरा अवतार के ने भजलेता हर बलि गाया पले हर बलिया कलये परिलमो समान किंकर सापा समान किंकर सापो सीताया भलियो अगुना पोहले मो सीताया पलियो अगुना पहले मो पलिव्रजरा तोपो पलिव्रजार तोपो अवतार सारा घोर अवतार के नो भजिले ता अवतार सारा घोर अवतार के नो भजिले ता संसार भजिले श्री गौरंग भूली संसार भजले श्री गौरंग भूली न सुनली सधुर कथा न सुनी सधुर कथा इहा परो काल दुख लिखोयले मानो इहा पर काल दुख लखोली ए मानो खैली अपना माथा खैली अपना माथा गौरंग 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 नित्यानंद गौरंग 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 नित्यानंद गौरंग 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 नित्यानंद गौरंग 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 नित्यानंद गौरंग नित्यानंद गौरंग नित्यानंद गौरंग नित्यानंद गौरंग नित्यानंद गौरंग नित्यानंद गौरंग 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Go Premanande. सब बोलेंगे हरि बोल.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
So we're going to read the translation. Everybody is going to read one by one. Okay, we'll start with Riya. The first one.
Yes, Guruji. On my mind, why don't you worship Sri Gaura Sundara, the crown jewel of all incarnations? You always stay in water, but your thirst is never satiated due to your own past and bad activities.
So this is the bhajan about our mind. How is our mind? So our mind, the Lashandas Thakur, right, is praying to the mind and say, "Oh my mind, why don't you worship Shri Gauranga, the crown jewel of all incarnations? Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Padayate Krishna Krishnaya Chaitanya Namine Gaura." So the most magnanimous incarnation is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh my, why did you surrender and worship Lord Gauranga? You always stay in water, but your thirst is never satiated due to your own past bad activities. Oh mine, you are always drowning in this ocean of material suffering, and then you're not being satisfied. You can never be satisfied. And the first, you're always thirsty. Although in this big ocean, but you're still very thirsty, and you never get satiated due to your own past bad activities. So this is a prayer to the mind. Okay, second, Himanshu, can you read the second sentence?
Yes, Prabhuji. You always hope to attain sweet, juicy fruits from your worship of thorn trees, but this is not possible. Our God Sundara is a desired tree offering divine love, but you left him thinking him to be poison.
Poison, yeah. So that's what the spirituality in the beginning is considered to be very bitter, like poison for some people, because in the beginning we are not used to all those bhakti practices. So here the mind, Roshan Das is saying, is talking about the mind, how the mind always is trying to attain the sweet, juicy fruits from thorn trees. See, the thorn trees are the material energy, the trees of material existence in this world. We always try to satisfy our senses by all these different things that we have in this material world, which attracts our senses. Attracts our senses. All these material things that we see, they stimulate our senses and our mind. And our mind is always trying to attain those things and seek pleasure and satisfaction in those things. And actually, which is not possible because we can never satisfy our mind and senses. And that's why Lashandras Thakur is saying, oh mind, please surrender to Gaur Sundar, who is actually a desired tree and is offering love of God. And you left him and just thinking him to be like poison. So this is the situation. And Janavi, you want to read the next one? Janavi hai? Oh, Bhargav aa gaya. Bhargav? Bhargav? Can you hear me? Gaurari, Jai Krishna. Can you read the third one?
Yes, Prabhuji. Oh, my mind, searching for some sweet aroma. You smell the beautiful flower, and instead are insect from the flowers enters your nose. You suck on dry wood, mistaking it for sugarcane. So how can you get any sweet juice?
So this is the prayer is very poetic, and the mind is being described like always searching for good things, for sweet aroma. And then unfortunately, when the mind is smelling the palasha flower, which actually has no scent. There's no taste also. And instead, an insect from the flower enters your nose. In the material world, the mind also, through the mind, we try to enjoy the material world. But in fact, when we try to enjoy, we get hurt in return. So just like the analogy of the insect is being given, how the insect gets into the nose and hurt the person. And then you suck on dry wood. In the example Prabhupada gives, in the desert, we have the camel. And anybody knows what the camel eats in the desert? Anybody?
Green leafy vegetables.
But in the desert, you will have cactus. The camel eat the cactus, and the cactus has thorns on the cactus. So when the camels eat the cactus, is chewing the cactus, and the camel is enjoying that. But the camel doesn't realize when the thorns are being crushed, it hurts the mouth, the camel's mouth, and blood comes. And then he's chewing the own blood, and the camel is feeling nice. So this is a situation. We are actually, when we think about pleasure, actually, we are suffering. It brings us more suffering, and we are chewing our own blood in trying to find pleasure in the material senses outside. This is what Lochin Das is trying to explain, that we are mistaking dry wood for sugar. So how can we get actual real sugar juice? And the fourth one, any volunteer who wants to read the fourth one? Nobody wants to read the fourth one? Translation? Okay, please read.
Oh my mind, that is like snake which you put around your neck. Thinking it to be a garland, you entered fire. Thinking it to be cool and suffered excruciating.
Yeah. So, oh my mind, death is like a snake which you put around your neck, thinking it to be a garland. And you entered fire, thinking it to be cool, and suffered excruciating burning. So it explained in Shrimad Bhagavatam, ऐसे बताया भागवत में, जैसे बिच्छू, right? जैसे scorpion bite are very, very painful. And imagine like 1,000 scorpion bites you, that much of pain that you get when death comes, when the soul is leaving the body. So painful it is. But the mind doesn't realize. The mind is embracing death like a garland, right? So that's one thing. And then Lushandas is explaining to the mind, you entered fire, think it to be cool. So that's an illusion. So the mind at times is compared, just like when the hot weather, जब रास्ता गर्म होते हैं ना, तो पानी जैसा दिखती है. इसको कहते हैं, how do we call that in English? Bhargav, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
How do you call that? The water on the road when it's so hot and then it looks like water. How do you call that? You know that word?
No, Prabhuji.
It's called a mirage. It's called a mirage. When it's so hot at times, and when you're traveling on the road or you're driving a car, you will see like water, but actually there's no water because of it's a mirage. So it's an illusion effect. So the mind also is thinking about entering fire. It's thinking as a school. It's like a mirage. So we are being in illusion. We've been tricked by our mind. At times we think something is good for us, but finally it will turn out to be bad for us. So many things happen like that. Anybody wants to share an example thinking that something which we are thinking would be good and then you end up suffering because of it. Anybody wants to share an experience? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, I'll share. Maybe I can share one experience. When I was in high school. Yeah, maybe I can share one experience when I went to high school. What experience that I can share then, but it didn't turn out to be good. So maybe I remember the mind tricks you. Yeah. So when I was in high school, we had a club. It's called a geographical club. So we will organize all the students together in my classroom. We had like 30 students sometime. So we organize touring, climbing mountains or going in different places in the country. So we went to climb a waterfall, right? So we went to climb a waterfall, and then we already had a guide with us. The guide was an army officer who will help us. So when we climb the waterfall, we have the rope. So the person goes up and then fix the rope and then down, let it go. And each one of us will going to hold onto the rope and climb the cliff. It's like a cliff. Once rocked over the waterfall is like falling, the water falling on like on a cliff. So we're from down, we're going up. So my mind was telling me, oh, I should take another path, which is more quicker and faster. And that's what my mind was telling me that. But everybody was holding onto the rope and going straight as a guide, the person who was guiding us. But I was thinking on my mind, I was trying to be smarter. So I left the rope, I grabbed a shrub. You know, there's different, वो कुछ वृक्ष होते थे, side by side होते थे, branches होते थे. So I grabbed one and then I said, I'll be quicker. I can go quicker. I was trying to go quicker. So my mind was telling me, oh, you do like that. So I was following my mind. And when I did that, I slipped and I fell. So at that moment, I felt that a hand pushing me from the back so that I can hang on a branch. So then I felt that, oh, God help me. तो भगवान का हाथ जैसा था, मुझे बचा दिया था कि वरना मैं गिरता तो बहुत बुरा हाल होता. So I was thinking on my mind, मैं अपने मन पर डिपेंड किया कि हाँ, मेरा मन बोल रहे हैं कि ऐसा करूं तो अच्छा होगा, मैं जल्दी पहुंच जाऊंगा ऊपर. और जो रास्ता बताया गया है, जो रस्सी पर है, उसको छोड़ करके मैं उस तरफ चले गए थे. तो देखिए, कभी-कभी our mind misguide us. We are thinking that this is the right path. This is, and then we suffer. भगवान ने कृपा किया, हमको बचा दिया था. तो इसीलिए उसी दिन से मेरा विश्वास भगवान के प्रति और बढ़ गए. So that's what Lochandas is saying here. The mind is a very tricky. It's very you know, what sometimes what we think is right is not right. It's like illusion. It's an illusion. Now the last one. Who wants to read the last one? Anybody wants to read the last one? Bhargav? Oh, Bhargav. पढ़ेंगे last one. हरी बोल. कौन है आज? सार्थक. ये सार्थक, Hare Krishna Sarthak.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Can you read the last one? Sarthak, thank you for coming after a long time.
O mind, enjoying material pleasures, you never heeded the devotee's words and forgot Gaur Sundara. Thus, both his world and the next are lost to you.
Thank you, Sarthak. So, oh my mind, enjoying material pleasures, you never heeded the devotee's words तो जो जब हम लोग सत्संग करते हैं, प्रभुपाद जी की किताब पढ़ते हैं, भक्तों का संग करते हैं, तो अच्छी-अच्छी बातें सुनने का मौका मिलता है। लेकिन हमारे मन सांसारिक चीजों में डूबे हुए थे, तो ये अच्छी-अच्छी बातें हम भूल जाते हैं। और ऐसे ही हम महाप्रभु का आश्रय भूल जाते हैं, महाप्रभु को भूल जाते हैं। और ऐसे करते-करते क्या हुआ? Both this world and the next are lost to you. तो ऐसे करते ये संसार भी खो जाते हैं और अगले बार भी। ये हमारे गुरुजी गाते हैं, दुनिया भी तो तेरी बन न सके, भगवान को अपना बना न सका, तेरा लोक गया परलोक गया, तू मानव तन कुछ पा न सका। तो हमारे गुरु महाराज नवयोगेश्वर महाराज हमेशा गाते ये भजन समझाने के लिए कि हम लोग को अगर हम जो करना है इस संसार में आए थे, अगर वो हम नहीं करेंगे तो तेरा लोक भी गया। तो ये लोक भी एक दिन छोड़ना पड़ेगा, मौत आएगा तो छोड़ना पड़ेगा। और परलोक का तैयारी नहीं किया हम लोगों ने, अपने जो कर्म जो हम कर रहे हैं आगे भविष्य के लिए तैयारी नहीं किए हुए, तो इसलिए तेरा लोक गया परलोक गया, तू मानव तन कुछ पा न सका। तो इस मनुष्य मानव तन को प्राप्त करके हमने भजन भक्ति किए नहीं, तो आखिरी में सब कुछ जो भी हम लोग कर रहे हैं इसी शरीर के साथ मिट जाएगा। जो भी आप कार्य कर रहे हैं इस संसार में, चाहे वो परो या जो भी कर रहे हैं, वो इस शरीर के साथ मिट जाएगा। अगले जन्म जब लेंगे फिर से जीरो से शुरू करना पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए जो बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति है ऐसे चीज करते हैं जो साथ ले जाएंगे। अब वो क्या चीज है, कौन बता सकते हैं?
प्रभु जी भक्ति, जो हम भगवान का नाम लिए वही साथ में लेके जाएंगे।
वेरी गुड, थैंक यू। तो भक्ति कमा सकते हैं, भक्ति साथ ले जाएंगे और बाकी चीजें यही रह जाएंगे। ये याद रखना। That was a very nice bhajan by Roshan Das Thakur. So we'll continue to our program. So who wants to go first to present their story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who, I'm giving you the option of choosing who wants to go first.
Prabhuji, can I do?
Okay, Ria, you can present.
Prabhuji, actually, I will change the story to childhood pastime. Actually, I didn't know first, so I have changed. So can I
okay,
speak
no
that?
problem, because you wanted to do a child pastime, and then somebody else did the same. I understand. Don't worry. You just do one pastime, whatever, which one you want to do.
Yes.
You want to just read it, or you want me to share the screen, to allow to share the screen so as you can?
Prabhuji, I am just reading it.
Okay, you can just read it.
Causeless mercy to a pure Brahmana. Once a very pious Brahmana who was touring all over the country, traveling from one pilgrimage place to another, reached Navadvip and became a guest in the house of Jagannath Mishra. He worshipped Lord Krishna by chanting the Gopal mantra, and he would not eat anything other than the remnants of food he had offered to Sri Gopal. Jagannath Mishra gave him all ingredients for cooking, and the Brahman prepared his food. When the Brahman was offering the food to Lord Bal Gopal, in meditation, Nimai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came before him and began to eat it. And because of this, the Brahmana thought the whole offering had been spoiled. Therefore, by the request of Jagannath Mishra, he cooked for a second time. But when he was meditating, the child again came before him and began to eat the food, spoiling the offering again. By the request of Jagannath Mishra, the Brahmana cooked for the third time, but this time the child has been locked within a room. But the Lord was pleased with his devotee and he wanted to satisfy his desire of accepting the bhoga. So Lord came before him and began to eat the food by making everyone sleep. The Brahmana became greatly agitated by this and thought that Lord Bal Gopala was not willing to accept his food, and therefore he ordained to fast. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Brahmana in that agitated state, he showed him his real avatar and told him, Formerly, I was the son of Mother Yashoda. At that time, too, you were a guest in the house of Nand Maharaj, and I disturbed you in this way. I am very much pleased with your devotion, therefore, I am eating the food you have prepared. Understanding the favor offered to him by the Lord, the Brahmana was greatly pleased, and he was overwhelmed with the love of Krishna. He was thankful to the Lord, for he felt himself greatly fortunate. Then the Lord asked the Brahmana not to disclose the incident to anyone else. Brahmana aesthetically danced, sang, laughed, and made loud roaring sounds. All glories to Lord Balgopal. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ria. So then we'll talk about the stories afterwards. Let's go to Himanshu. You want to tell your story?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you allow me to share the screen?
Okay, 1 second. Okay, can you share now?
Yeah. So, childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
I can't. We can't see your screen you're sharing.
Or you can not.
Yeah, I can't see your screen.
Yeah, I'll try again.
You have to select the screen you're sharing, and then press share, like new share.
Can you see
We
now?
can do now. Yeah, because he was not host. Okay.
So, can you see now, Prabhuji?
Minute.
Can you see the screen now?
Anybody can see? People, other people can see,
Yes, Prabhu, I can
Yes,
see.
Prabhuji.
or we can see. Okay, good.
Okay. So, childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nimai's wonderful footprints. One day in the house of Jagannath Mishra, there was a strange sight. Small footprints in the dust on the floor showed unusual signs. Look here, said Sachi Mata. This footprint shows the sign of a fish and a conch shell. And this footprint has a disc, a thunderbolt, and a flag, said Jagannath Mishra. These are the signs that are found on the feet of Lord Krishna. Perhaps our household deity has come down from the altar and played on the floor, he guessed. Just then Nimai woke up and began to cry. Mother Sachi put him on her lap and gave him milk. It was then that she noticed the same marks on Nimai's feet that she had seen on the floor. She showed Jagannath Mishra the child's feet. He called for Nilambar Chakravarti, Sachimata's father, who was also an astrologer. I already knew about the nature of your son, Nimai, said Nilambar, smiling. By astrology, I found that Nimai has all the signs of the supreme personality of Godhead. He also has all the 32 marks of a great person on his body. What are those mark? After Sachimata, 5 parts of his body are large, said Nilambar, his nose, arms, chin, eyes, and knees. 5 parts are fine, his skin, fingertips, teeth, body, hair, and head. Hairs. 7 parts of his body are reddish. His eyes, soul, palms, palate, nails, and upper and lower lips. 6 parts of his body are raised. His chest, shoulders, nails, nose, vest, and mouth. 3 small parts on his body are his neck, his thighs, and his organs. His 3 broad parts are his waist, forehead and chest, and his three grave parts are his navel, his voice, and his life. These same 32 marks are found on the body of Lord Krishna. Therefore, we know that your son Nimai has come to save the world. Sachi Mata's father told Jagannath Mishra to hold a ceremony and call for the Brahmanas and their wives. You should name the child Shambhara. He has the power to protect and maintain the entire world by teaching love of God. Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Thank you,
beautiful.
Mataji.
Very beautiful story, Himanshu. What did you learn from the story, Himanshu?
I learned about Sri Chaitanya, the Nimai's wonderful footprints,
Yeah, the signs of God,
science behind. Yeah,
right?
science
When
behind.
God appears, what the different signs? Like same as Krishna was there, and same in Mahaprabhu were there. Like all those different physical traits characteristics that you saw, right? That you read, right?
Mm.
So these are very interesting. So somebody can come and claim to be God. We can say that no, those traits should be there. That's
Mhm.
written in the scripture, like broad forehead and all these different things that you mentioned, and those marks in the sole of the feet and hands as well. So that's very special. Thank you so much. And let's who else is there? Gorari,
Yes,
Jai
Prabhuji.
Krishna, can you read your story to us?
Yes,
Although
Prabhuji.
Ria also has the same story, but it doesn't matter. Let us take your different style of the story there. So let us read yours.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Once upon a time, a very pious Brahmana was on a pilgrimage to all holy places of the country, and he stopped in Navadvip. During that time, Jagannath Mishra, the father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, invited the Brahmana for lunch. The Brahmana said that he would only accept food offered to Lord Krishna. Jagannath Mishra gave him all ingredients for cooking, and the Brahmana prepared the food. When the Brahmana was offering the food to Lord Krishna in meditation, Nimai came before him and ate the offering. Hence, the offering had been spoiled. At the request of Jagannath Mishra, the Brahman cooked for second time. But when he was meditating, Nimai came again before him and ate the bhoga. Once again, for second time, the whole offering was spoiled. Once more, at the request of Jagannath Mishra, the Brahman cooked for third time. But this time, Nimai had been locked within a room. Meanwhile, everyone on the outside locked the door of Jagannath Mishra house from the outside. The ladies all said, "Don't worry, Nimai has gone to sleep now. He won't be going out to eat anything tonight." The Brahman soon finished his cooking. The fortunate Brahmana then began to offer his bhoga to Lord Balgopal. While everyone was sleeping, Nimai appeared at the place where Brahman was meditating. Seeing Nimai again, Brahmana cried, "Hey, hey!" In utter frustration, he began to cry. Mahaprabhu said, "Formerly, I was the son of Mother Yashoda. At that time, too, you were a guest in the house of Nanda Maharaj, and I disturbed you in this way. I am very much pleased with your devotion. Therefore, I am eating the food you have prepared." Understanding the favor offered to him by the Lord, the Brahmana was greatly pleased, and he was overwhelmed with the love of Krishna. He was thankful to the Lord, for he felt himself greatly fortunate. Then the Lord asked the Brahmana not to tell the incident to anyone else. The Brahmana danced, sang, laughed, and made loud roaring sounds in the love and devotion of Lord. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jai Krishna. Very nice, very nicely said. The story is like very lively. So anything you learned from the story that you didn't know? Jai Krishna, कुछ ऐसे चीज बताओ जो आपने पता नहीं था पहले से.
Yes, Prabhuji.
कैमरा को ऑन करो ना, ऐसे देख रहे थे, अच्छा लग रहा है. हाँ.
प्रभु जी मुझे पहली एक बात ये पता चली कि जब भी हम भगवान को भोग ऑफर करते हैं, वो किसी न किसी रूप में हमारे भोग को जरूर चखते हैं, खाते हैं.
अच्छा, वेरी गुड.
हमें पता नहीं रहता, जैसे ब्राह्मण को भी पता नहीं था और गुस्सा भी हो रहा था।
मैं आपको एक किस्सा सुनाता हूँ। मेरा हम लोग अमृतसर में थे, मेरा गुरु भाई के साथ संजय प्रभु, हम दोनों प्रचार करते थे वहां पे। तो एक मंदिर मिल गए थे रहने के लिए। उस जमाने में कोई जगह नहीं था इस्कॉन का, तो हम लोग किसी के घर में रहते थे, फिर दूसरे हफ्ते किसी और वो लोग हॉस्ट करते थे हम लोगों को। तो एक जगह मिले थे, एक राम मंदिर थे, तो फिर हम वो एक कमरा मिल गया था वहां रहने के लिए, तो उसमें रहते थे। तो उस जमाने में हम लोग प्रचार करते थे ना भगवान का, किताबें का, और मेंबरशिप करते थे, इस्कॉन का मेंबर्स बनाते थे। तो हमारे पास समय नहीं था कि डेटी वर्शिप करने का, भगवान का मूर्ति विग्रह रखने का। तो एक माता जी ने संजय प्रभु को एक कन्हैया दिया, छोटा सा कन्हैया। ठीक है, तो हम लोग जल्दी सुबह से उठ जाते हैं, मंगल आरती करते हैं, फिर जप करते हैं वगैरह वगैरह। तो हमें वो माता जी कहते थे कि तुम्हारा भाव, तुम लोगों का भाव नहीं है, तुम लोगों को प्रचार है कहते हैं, तो भगवान के प्रति भाव नहीं है इतना। तो फिर हम लोग ने कैसे, हम लोग प्रयास किया, भगवान को छोटा सा कन्हैया था तो उनको खिलाया। तो बोलता है कि चलो आप देखते हैं आज क्या होता है। हम लोग लड्डू रखा भगवान के लिए। कृष्णा का कन्हैया का लड्डू का। फिर देखते हैं, बोले ठीक है देखते हैं अगर भगवान खाते हैं या नहीं खाते हैं। हम लोग चले गए तो प्रचार करने। तो संजय प्रभु ने भोग लगाया था। तो जब आए तो मुझे पूछा, तुमने खाया था वो लड्डू जो भोग लगाया था? मैंने बोला नहीं, मैंने खाया नहीं। तो बोले मैं भी तो वहां तो रखा था, फिर उसके बाद देखा तो गायब था, लड्डू गायब हो गए थे। और वो वहां उस कमरे में कुछ भी नहीं था, कुछ कुछ बहुत सील था, अच्छी तरह से रखा था। तो उसी दिन से हमारा श्रद्धा भगवान के प्रति बढ़ गए थे। जो विग्रह, जो जो लड्डू गोपाल है, जो उसके प्रति हम लोग श्रद्धा और बढ़ गया। कि श्रद्धा था प्रचार में, भगवान के नाम पे, लेकिन विग्रह के इतना श्रद्धा नहीं था। लेकिन जब भगवान ने खा लिया लड्डू तो और बढ़ गया कि हाँ साक्षात भगवान है हमारा कन्हैया। तो ये एक कहानी है, बता रहा हूँ आप लोगों को। ऐसा कोई कहानी है आप लोगों को जो आप शेयर कर सकते हैं? कोई? Anybody has? Ria, you have any story to share like that about Krishna eating?
No, Prabhuji.
No story. सार्थक, सार्थक जी, कोई कहानी आप शेयर करना चाहते हैं?
कृष्ण प्रभु जी मेरे पे मैंने अभी प्रिपेयर नहीं करा।
नहीं, कोई ऐसे पर्सनल जहाँ पे आप महसूस हुआ कि भगवान पर हमारा जो प्रसाद है वो खा लेते हैं।
प्रभु जी ऐसा अभी तक तो मेरे साथ ऐसा अनुभव नहीं हुआ है।
तो
ऐसा अनुभव नहीं गया।
कोई बात नहीं, कभी
जी
कभी आप लोग भविष्य में जैसे भक्ति में आगे बढ़ेंगे तो ऐसा अनुभव भी कर सकते हैं। आप पढ़ें, कहें आपने कोई कथा पढ़ें, या ऐसे भी शेयर कर सकते बाद में। तो अभी किसी ने और भगवान के, महाप्रभु के बारे में कोई स्टोरीज सुनाने का कोशिश प्रयास करेंगे या
प्रभु जी यहाँ पे ना जम्मू में ना एक पीर को मंदिर है जहाँ से पांडव गए थे अमरनाथ के लिए।
ओके, तो बताइए थोड़ा।
तो प्रभु जी जब भी मैं उधर, मम्मा बोलते हैं या कोई भी बोलता है नहीं जा, शिव जी का मंदिर है, तो जब भी मैं उसके लिए ना करता हूँ तब भी मेरे साथ कोई ना कोई हादसा हो जाता है।
अच्छा, तो फिर जाना पड़ेगा फिर। मैं अच्छा
दो बारी मुझे लगी और एक बारी मेरा साइकिल चोरी हो गया था।
अच्छा अच्छा, ये बताइए, वो एक शिवलिंग है वहां पे ना?
हाँ जी प्रभु जी।
हाँ, मैं गया वहां पे, वो नीचे है ना एक केव में,
गुफा में है, गुफा में।
मैं गया था। जब मैं जम्मू में, जब मैं बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करता था वहां पे कितने साल पहले, तो जगह गए थे। मैं वहां पे एक पुजारी था और हमको मिठाई खूब खिलाते थे। वहां जाकर के शिव जी को भोग लगाते थे। वो गुफा में है वो, और वो शिवलिंग बहुत खास है, वो अलग प्रकार का।
जम्मू की पहचान।
वो कहते हैं कि वो जम्बवान का गुफा कहते हैं।
हाँ जी प्रभु जी, उसको जामा मंद की गुफा कहते हैं।
देखा, अब तो वही चीज है, तुम्हें याद है यार। जब मैं बहुत कम उम्र था, जब मैं जम्मू में था मैं, तो वहीं पे मैं जाता देखा, आपने याद करवाया वो जम्बावान गुफा, वही जम्बावान लड़ते थे ना उस जगह से पे। काफी कहानी है जो हम लोग कृष्ण बुक में पढ़ते हैं, तो मैं सुनाएंगे आप लोगों को। तो अब हम लोग जो आई थिंक किसने, समेरा ने भी भेजा, तो हम लोग अभी समेरा का जो उन्होंने पेश किया वो भेजा हमको। वो वैसे समेरा बिजी हो गए, वो आ नहीं पाई क्योंकि उनका स्कूल में कुछ कार्यक्रम है, तो इसीलिए।
प्रभु जी आप जम्मू कब आए थे?
अरे मैं जम्मू में 1990 91 92 में था मैं।
अच्छा अच्छा प्रभु जी।
91, सोचो आप, कितना 30 इयर्स हो गए, 30 साल पहले। समेरा, तो देखो उन्होंने देखा, यहाँ पे मैं शेयर करता हूँ, अगर आप लोग देख पाएंगे मुझे बताना कि आप लोग देख रहे नहीं देख रहे नहीं। स्क्रीन में आ रहे हैं? नहीं अभी नहीं आ रहे ना, अब तो आएंगे। अब आ रहे हैं स्क्रीन पे? हरि बोल। जय
Yes,
कृष्णा।
Prabhuji.
वो देख रहे हैं ना आप? तो
Yes,
साउंड भी
Prabhuji.
शेयर करूंगा, क्योंकि आप साउंड भी कर देख पाते हैं। वेरी गुड। अब मैं प्ले करूंगा उसको, ये समय मैंने बनाए सबके लिए।
Hare Krishna everyone. I am Samara Vahi from Amritsar. Today I will be sharing two childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nimai is carried away by thieves. One day, two thieves saw the little Lord roaming around alone in the streets. Seeing his fine golden ornaments, one thief picked Nimai up, saying, "Oh dear!" And the other one said, "Where have you been for so long? We must go home quickly, dear." The Lord replied, "Yes, let us go home." The two thieves sped away with Nimai in their arms, while onlookers in the street ignorantly thought that the rightful guardians had taken their own child. Overtaken by greed, the thieves were thinking they would steal the gold ornaments. They carried him upon their shoulders towards their hideout, while the Lord rode along, laughing to himself. One thief gave him a sandesh sweet, while the other said comfortingly, "We have almost reached home." By now, Nimai's family had realized he was missing and began to look everywhere for him. The thieves mistook their own way to their own den and arrived instead at Jagannath Mishra's house. The bewildered thieves thought they were in their own house and were about to take off the Lord's bangles. "Get down, we are home," said the thieves, and the Lord replied, "Yes, put me down." Then he ran straight to the arms of his joyful father, chanting "Hari Hari." The confused thieves realized that the house was not their own, but they could not recognize where they were. Taking advantage that the family's attention was focused on the child, the thieves fearfully ran away without being noticed by anyone. Jagannath Mishra wondered, who brought the child back? "We should offer him nice gifts," they asked Nimai. "Tell us who brought you." The Lord smiled and answered, "I went to the banks of Ganga, but I lost my way home and was roaming around in the town. Two people took me in their arms and brought me home." The family could not catch up to the thieves who were running for their lives, afraid of being punished for their attempt to steal the bangles of the child they had kidnapped. Nimai liberates the puppy. One day, when Nimai was about 3, he saw some little puppies playing around his house. All the puppies ran away except for one. Hugging the puppy, Nimai said, "Oh, I can take this puppy home as my pet." When his mother saw the puppy, she said, "What are you doing? You are a nice Brahmin boy." She insisted, "You cannot have this dirty animal in the house." Just then his friends called out, "Nimai, come for a swim in the river with us." Sachi said, "Yes, while you're gone, I will look after your puppy." So Nimai went to the Ganga with his friends. Meanwhile, the mother dog came back looking for her puppy and took him back with her. Nimai came back and asked where his puppy was. His mother explained, "Maybe your friends let him loose and he ran away." Meanwhile, on the other side of the town, the same little puppy that had been hugged by Nimai started to develop symptoms of love of Godhead. He jumped up and down, barking, "Hari bol, Hari bol." Crowds of people gathered. The puppy was rolling on the ground, feeling so much love for Krishna, chanting "Hari bol, Hari bol." Rolling on the ground, the puppy left his body, and from his head came a spark. The soul came out from the dog's body. Then a brilliant light came down from the sky. It was a spiritual airplane with the Vishnu Doots, messengers of Lord Vishnu. Just then the soul of this dog assumed a human form, and the Vishnu Doots took him back to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
So ये बहुत सुंदर कहानी है दोनों। आप लोग कभी ये सुने कैसे ये जो पपी है उसको वैकुंठ स्वरूप मिले सिर्फ महाप्रभु का स्पर्श करने से कितना वो कृष्णा प्रेम मिले उनको। Anybody heard of the story before? Ria? हरि बोल।
हरि बोल प्रभु जी।
आपने सुना ये स्टोरी पहले?
नहीं प्रभु जी, नहीं सुना।
और ये स्पेशल स्टोरी है, तो इसलिए हम लोग महाप्रभु तो पशु भी उनको उद्धार किए, कम से कम हम लोग तो अपने दोस्तों को कर सकते हैं, प्रसाद खिला खिला करके, महामंत्र सुना करके, किताब का वितरण करना। दिस इज 125th year celebration of Srila Prabhupada birthday appearance day, so we have to actually do something, you know, so we all can try to preach जो प्रभुपाद जी की सबसे बड़ा प्रिय कार्यक्रम है उनके किताब को वितरण करने का। तो अब जब आपके दोस्त लोगों को छोटे छोटे प्रभुपाद जी की किताब है उनको तोहफे में देना, जब कोई बर्थडे जाते हैं तो किताब देना लोगों को, right? People give gifts, different type of gifts, like video game, like other games, but now the best thing is to give a small book of Srila Prabhupada. Okay? We can always try to do that. So give a small gift, we have different types of books, all different types of nice story books also. So we can, Prabhupada wrote, the Krishna book is one of them, it's very beautifully written. So we can always try to give that as a gift to our friends. In this way, we can help our friends to become Krishna conscious. Okay, so आज we will close by last. We're going to talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's.
Can I share a story?
Oh yeah, please. You can share a story.
Yes, Prabhuji. During the time a great Kashmiri shloker named Keshav Kashmiri Pandit came to Navdeep to hold discussion on the Shastra. The Kashmiri Pandit was a champion of shlokas, and he had traveled all places for learning Indian shlokas. Finally, he came to Navdeep to the contest. The learning Pandits were defeated with the Kashmiri Pandit. Think that Nimai Pandit was defeated, they would have another chance to debate with the another Pandit. For Nimai Pandit was only a boy, and if Kashmiri Pandit was defeated, then they would have even more glorified because people Could could a merry boy of Navdeep defeated a champion of shlokas who has famous thoughts Indian? It also happened that the Nimai Pandit made a Keshav Kashmiri on the strolling on the banks of Ganga. The Lord requested to compose a Sanskrit version in the prize of Ganga. And the Pandit, within a short time, he composed 100 shlokas reacting on the Ganga. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he memorized all the shlokas without any error. He finds many mistakes, like Kashmiri Pandit used words Bhavani Bhuvat. He pointed out that the use of words, these two words, was incorrect. Bhavani means the wife of Shiva, and who else can be her Bharat or husband. Mm, he also pointed out several mistakes. At the night, the Kashmiri Pandit was sleeping. The goddess of learning is Saraswati is come in him dream and say to submit the Lord, and thus the Kashmiri Pandit become a follower of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Very nice. So we can see that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired, great Pandits like Kashmiri Pandit who to become a devotee. And that's a very nice story. So today we're going to talk a little bit because our program is 1 hour. We'll take only 5 minutes just to conclude, and then we'll continue next week. So we're going to talk about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. So our previous we talk about his life, his only part of his life. That's what your assignment was, to talk about his childhood pastimes. We have different pastimes, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, Anta Lila. So it would take us too much time to go over that. So we just took care of only the childhood pastime. But what's more important as well is, equally important, not more important, is the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left us with Shikshashtakam. So Shikshashtakam, there's Ashta, means 8. So there's 8 verses that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left with us, so as we can practice our bhakti. So Mahaprabhu, don't forget that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of Krishna, but he came in the form of his devotee to teach us how to become a devotee and how to act as a devotee. And that's the essence of the Gaudiya Vaishnava devotional mood and instructions. So is found in the Shikshashtakam. So the first one, we're going to read the first shloka. So we will take the first shloka today, and next week we'll continue with the rest of them. So the first shloka of Shikshashtakam is about the glory of chanting the holy name of Krishna. What's the glories of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and the holy names? So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so everybody can read on their own. As I'm reading, you can repeat. Cheto darapana marjanam bhava mahatavagni nirvapanam shreya kerava chandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam anandam udevardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Anybody volunteer who wants to read the translation? Anybody? Most welcome to read the translation. Okay, if the guys are tired, I'll read the translation. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, congregational chanting of Lord's holy names, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, or repeated birth and death. That Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always very anxious. So we can see here that the chanting is compared to the waxing moon that spreads the lotus of good fortune for all living entities. What is the meaning of comparing the moon, the chanting to be like the rays of the moon? Who can try to comment on this? जैसे यहाँ पे लिखा है जैसे चंद्रमा जैसे के किरण होते हैं, ऐसे ही हमारे हरि नाम ऐसा होता है। तो आप ये इसका जो एनालॉजी है हम कैसे समझ सकते हैं? जय कृष्ण, आप ट्राई करेंगे? जय कृष्ण।
Yes, Prabhuji.
ये जो चंद्रमा और हरिनाम में कैसा एनालॉजी, कैसे कंपेयर किया गया हुआ है?
प्रभु जी मुझे एक क्वेश्चन था कि
हाँ जी।
प्रभु जी कश्मीरी पंडित होते हैं वो मीट खा लेते हैं, पर जो मतलब दूसरे पंडित होते हैं वो नहीं खाते, वो क्यों प्रभु जी?
देखो ये जो कश्मीर पंडित जो हम यहाँ पे बात हुआ था वो मीट नहीं खाते थे क्योंकि वो वेद शास्त्र का पालन करते थे। लेकिन जो आजकल जो कश्मीर पंडित है जो कश्मीर से आए उन लोगों का वो वहां पे वो लोग मीट खाते थे, अभी तक खाते हैं। लेकिन ऐसा है कि बाकी पंडित क्यों नहीं खाते और वो क्यों नहीं खाते, क्योंकि उनका जो कल्चर है वहां पे तो खाने खाते थे। आप देखेंगे जो लोग जहाँ पे बहुत सर्दी होते हैं, बहुत ठंड जगह है जैसे एस्किमो है, वो लोग मांस खा लेते हैं क्योंकि और कुछ चीज है ही नहीं वहां पे। लेकिन कश्मीर में और भी चीजें हो सकते खाने के लिए, लेकिन वो लोग फॉलो नहीं करते हैं धर्म को अच्छी तरह से। हमारे सनातन धर्म में 4 प्रकार का पिलर्स
प्रभु
है।
जी पर वो जो है वो जो पंडित हैं प्रभु जी वो बिना माचिस या फिर किसी चीज के प्रभु जी वो तो आग जला लेते हैं सिर्फ मंत्र उच्चारण से, वो कैसे प्रभु जी?
हाँ वो तो बहुत पहले से ही है, अब नहीं है, अब ऐसा नहीं है। अब
प्रभु जी अगर हम कश्मीर की पहाड़ियों में जाते हैं ना दूर दूर, तो प्रभु जी कुछ कुछ मिल जाते हैं, ऐसे बहुत रेयर है, पर अभी भी
बहुत
हैं
रेयर है।
कुछ।
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ आपको, ये बहुत रेयर है। लेकिन जो व्यक्ति कोई सिद्धि आजकल के कलयुग में जो व्यक्ति सिद्धि प्राप्त किया है वो कर सकते हैं। सिद्धि मीन्स अपने तपस्या के द्वारा उन्होंने कुछ सिद्धि प्राप्त किया वो कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर आप शुद्धि नहीं है मंत्र का उच्चारण करने की तो आप नहीं कर सकते। जैसे हम लोग यज्ञ करते हैं तो मंत्र है यज्ञ अग्नि को स्थापना के लिए, तो एक स्पेशल मंत्र होता है, उसके बोलने से तो अग्नि प्रज्वलित कर सकते हैं। लेकिन शुद्धि होना चाहिए, और जो इस कलयुग में है ही नहीं। तो अगर आप सोच रहे कि आप मांस खाएंगे, ये नियम पालन नहीं करेंगे, वेद शास्त्रों को पालन नहीं करेंगे, ये सब चीज मंत्र को उच्चारण करके अग्नि प्रज्वलित कर सकते हैं, ये तो गलत है, ये कभी नहीं हो सकता। तो ये ध्यान रखना कि शुद्धि रसत्ता, जब तक शुद्धि नहीं होगा मंत्र का उच्चारण कभी सफलता नहीं प्राप्त कर सकेंगे। तो ये हम लोगों को ध्यान करना चाहिए। और
प्रभु जी इसका मतलब वो जो पंडित हैं वो शुद्ध है, वो मीट सब इन सब चीजों से दूर है।
वही तो बोल रहा हूँ, अगर आप सोच रहे हैं कि मीट खाने से कुछ नहीं होता, शुद्धि मीन्स ये गलत है। मीट खाने से हमारा जो धर्म का पहला स्तंभ जो अहिंसा है वो भस्म हो जाता है। और अगर अहिंसा नहीं होगा तो फिर दया नहीं होगा, प्यूरिटी नहीं होगा, अंदर हमारा हृदय भगवान कनेक्शन नहीं बनेगा। तो वो जो शुद्धि आएगा जब ये नियम पालन करेगा। और सबसे पहला नियम है कि मांस तमसिक चीज लेना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि जो जो मांस ये सब चीजें ये तमसिक चीज होते हैं। फूड इज मोड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस। और जैसे आप यू आर व्हाट यू ईट, जैसे आप ग्रहण करेंगे तो आप भी मोड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस चले जाएंगे। इसलिए मोड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस में ये मंत्र काम नहीं करेगा। तो अगर कोई बोल रहे हैं कि मैं मांस खा रहा हूँ और मैं मंत्र के द्वारा मैं ये अग्नि जलाता हूँ, ये तो गलत बोल रहे हैं, झूठ बोल रहे हैं।
प्रभु जी, फिर मेरे दादू बोलते हैं कि उन्होंने ऐसे पंडित देखे हैं जो मीट खा रहे थे पर उन्होंने मंत्रों के द्वारा वो किया था, अग्नि प्रज्वलित की थी।
हो सकते हैं, लेकिन हो
आज से
सकते
कुछ 90 इयर्स पुरानी बात है।
हो
उनको
सकते हैं
मुझे
कि
फादर ने बताया था।
हो सकते है उसके पास कोई सिद्धि था करने के लिए। तो सिद्धि होना और प्यूरिटी होना दो अंतर है, समझ गया? हो सकता है कोई उसको कोई सिद्धि मिला था, सिद्धि किसी को भी मिल सकता है, हाँ? लेकिन उसको करने के लिए यू नीड टू हैव प्यूरिटी, समझ गया? धर्म के स्थापित करने रास्ते पर चलना चाहिए। अधर्म के रास्ते पर चल करके ये सब चीजें नहीं कर सकते, भगवान का प्राप्ति नहीं कर सकते, ये याद रखना। हाँ, किसी ने उसको कोई सिद्धि दिया हुआ है वो तो दूसरा बात है, समझ गया? हो सकता है किसी ने उसको सिद्धि दिया हुआ है,
ठीक है प्रभु जी।
और वो टेम्पररी होगा, समझ गया? जैसे जैसे आपका पाप भरेगा सिद्धि को वो भी खत्म हो जाएगा। जो भी चीज है मटेरियल चीज है, स्पिरिचुअल चीज नहीं है। जो सिद्धि होता है वो भौतिक चीज होता है, आध्यात्मिक चीज नहीं होता। जो आध्यात्मिक चीज होता है वो हमेशा के लिए होता है, और जो भौतिक चीज है वो नश्वर होता है, कुछ समय के लिए होता है। तो कुछ समय के लिए कुछ हो सकता, कुछ सिद्धि मिला है उनको, लेकिन हमेशा के लिए नहीं है, इसलिए ये ध्यान रखना। तो आइए हम लोग फिर से ये प्रश्न पूछ रहा था कि जो चंद्रमा और हरिनाम का तुलना इस श्लोक में कैसे हम लोग समझे। जय कृष्णा, आप कुछ बोल रहे थे?
यस प्रभु जी।
उसको कैसे तुलना कर सकते हैं, हरिनाम और चंद्रमा?
अमृत के द्वारा।
ऐसे चंद्रमा जो है ना वो बहुत सुकून देता मन को। तो deity of the mind, remember always the deity of the mind is a moon। जो चंद्रमा है वो deity है, मन का deity है। तो चंद्रमा वो सुकून देते हैं। जैसे आप देखें रात में रोशनी देते हैं, रात में अंधकार में रोशनी देते हैं चंद्रमा। और न सिर्फ अंधकार में रोशनी देते हैं लेकिन बहुत सुकून देते हैं, मन को बहुत शीलतापन महसूस करते हैं, शीलतापन महसूस करते हैं। इसीलिए यहाँ पे किया कि बताया गया है, the Sankirtan movement is a prime benediction for humanity at large. It spreads like the rays of the benediction moon. It is a life of all truth and knowledge. तो जैसे रात में अंधकार होता है वैसे हम लोग अंधकार में है लेकिन रोशनी जैसे चंद्रमा दे रहे हैं वैसे संकीर्तन मूवमेंट दे रहे हैं। हम लोग इस संसार में जल रहे हैं, एक दावाग्नि में, एक फॉरेस्ट फायर में जल रहे हैं, लेकिन जो कृष्णा संकीर्तन चैंटिंग है वो हम लोगों को इस दावाग्नि को बुझा देते हैं, हमको आजाद करते हैं, मुक्त कर लेते हैं, इस जन्म मृत्यु का बंधन से मुक्त कर लेते हैं। क्या? ये हरिनाम संकीर्तन। इसलिए हमें हरिनाम संकीर्तन में भाग लेना चाहिए। और आप लोग रोज जप कीजिए, जो जप नहीं कर रहे हैं कम से कम एक माला जप करना रोज 5-10 मिनट के लिए, इसको बढ़ाते रहने का। और संकीर्तन यज्ञ में आपको भाग लेना चाहिए ताकि हम लोग इस मनुष्य तन का असली वजह हम पूरा करें। अरे मनुष्य का जन्म का असली वजह है कृष्ण भगवान का प्रेम की प्राप्ति. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming for this session. We will continue next week, and everybody participated so nicely, and I was very happy to see everybody's participation. हम बहुत से stories हैं, and I'll post a question on WhatsApp, and next week we're going to everybody can participate in getting more stories about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. अब हम लोग महाप्रभु का चालू पास्टाइम खत्म किया है, तो आप लोग नेक्स्ट वीक किसी महाप्रभु का मध्य लीला या अंत लीला में किसी अलग अलग पास्टाइम में महाप्रभु नवद्वीप में या जगन्नाथपुरी का कितना अलग अनेक लीलाएं हैं जगह अपने महाप्रभु का, तो आप लोग पेश करेंगे. सब लोग एक एक स्टोरी बताएंगे जैसे हम लोग ने किया, वैसे ही अगले हफ्ते आप लोग महाप्रभु चैतन्य महाप्रभु का एक स्टोरी जगन्नाथपुरी में आप पेश कर सकते हैं, या गोस्वामी रूप गोस्वामी सनातन गोस्वामी का बारे में. महाप्रभु दक्षिण भारत भी चले गए थे, महाप्रभु के एक स्टोरी दक्षिण भारत का भी ले सकते हैं. जैसे आप अच्छा लगे आप लोग वैसे ही अगले हफ्ते एक स्टोरी महाप्रभु के बारे में आप बताएंगे. सब लोग आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप लोग ने भाग लिया बहुत अच्छी तरह से, और बहुत आनंद आया इस बार इस कार्यक्रम में. तो we will see you all next week. Hare Krishna. Any questions you have before we leave? No question. So we'll see you Bhagar next अगले हफ्ते आना भूलना नहीं. ठीक है. Himanshu, thank you for coming. We'll see you all next week. बाकी लोग कोशिश करेंगे. हरे बोल.
हरे कृष्ण. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
हरि बोल. प्रभु जी कुछ बोलना अधिक प्रभु. You need to thank you for making the arrangement, and anything you want to add.
No bro, it was a wonderful session. आज बच्चे बहुत एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट किए, बहुत अच्छा लगा. बस ऐसे ही, क्योंकि बच्चों से भी यही कहना है कि प्रभु जी भी काफी मेहनत कर रहे हैं ये सब प्रिपेयर करने में. उनका जस्ट खत्म हुआ एक भगवत गीता क्लास, और अर्ली मॉर्निंग होता है वहाँ पर यूएस में. फिर भी प्रभु जी अपना टाइम निकालते, तो आप लोग भी अपना टाइम निकालिए. हरे कृष्ण. थैंक यू. प्लीज रेगुलरली ज्वाइन करिए.
हरे कृष्ण. राधे राधे.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. See you guys next week.